Looks like now recording. Good. And for some reason I just opened up WT. So, the main reason I was doing this is just to test to see if I can actually use WebEx. Apparently I seem to be better at this than I thought I was. But what I also wanted to do was to show and make a recording of how you actually do that first exercise, the one with the, make the frequency, was it frequency table? Yeah. Obtain a frequencies table for the variable getCoke. Respondents were asked the frequency. Boy, I need to check my spelling. Procedure is found in the descriptives, also different fonts, under Analyze. So I have to go get the data set. And so I have them all. The big problem with getting the data sets off of the class here is you pretty much have to have SPSS first before you can get them. The data sets are on the textbooks website as well. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to visit the textbooks website. Let's see if I can get my chat window to come back up. So there are a couple of folks that are doing this from, and now I'm getting an echo. Intriguing. Now the echo's going away. Huh. Let's see. Let me reduce that. Where's the little icon? Chat. Yes, Charlotte.
I don't think I need to do that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Has anyone visited the textbook website? So what you can do, though, if you actually have SPSS on your computer that you're doing this with, if you click on the little link here, it'll give you the launching link in 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And you can either save file or open the file. If you open it, it may ask you what you want to open it as. And now you can't see that it's opening, but it's opening. It's on the other monitor. And I'll move it back over to this one. I double click on it on my downloads. This is going to take a minute because it's a pretty big website or a pretty big data set. And let me shrink this down. I'll just move it over to the proper window now. So here it is. I'm hoping this is what everyone else got when they, this is the MTF. MTF stands for Monitoring the Future, I think. Yeah. I think that's what MTF stands for. And let me do this as well. Let me move the output window over there as well. This is what the output window looks like. Not terribly exciting yet because we don't have any output. So let me just reduce the size of the output. Here's the data. And of course, across the top are all these are your variable names: happy, social issue, friends, anti-friends. To see what the variables are, if you click on the variable view, you'll notice that they all have little labels. Level of happiness, think about social issues, attitude towards having friends of another race. That's interesting. Military job performance, attitude towards smoking 1 pack of cigs per day, marijuana. We're looking for getCoke, which is this one right here. GetCoke, the question is, how easy is it to get cocaine? If you go back to the data view, and go across the top to getCoke. There it is. getCoke. I'm trying to think. Sometimes you can get it so it'll tell you what the variable is. Maybe not in this version of SPSS. But if they said 1, that means it's probably impossible, very difficult, fairly difficult, fairly easy, and very easy. And all the assignment asked you to do was to go to Analyze, and you see all sorts of choices. I'm guessing everyone's seeing the same choices I am. So it's like Analyze reports, which you can look at. Descriptives we'll do a lot with this semester. Compare means when we get to t-test and ANOVA. General linear models, now you're starting to get to the graduate class that I teach. We'll do a little correlation and a little regression. And then for a research project I'm working on with some colleagues here, we're looking at factor analysis. And I may just do a video on that a little bit later. But for the descriptives, you have several choices then as well. You have frequencies and descriptive. So let's say I wanted, the instructions said to do a frequencies table. Now, just to start with, and in part I did it this way because it's the first choice. I didn't really expect you to know all the things that this does, but I just wanted to make sure you had the right data set and the right SPSS. One of the things you can do, you'll notice on here that this is called the dialog box. In the dialog box for frequencies, the frequencies dialog box, you'll see that it actually has the level of happiness, and the variable name is happy. Think about social issues. It's how would you say it? Soc issue, attitudes towards friends. Since we're looking for the variable name, you can change it. What I did here was I right-clicked. I'm right-handed, so I right-clicked on that box, and I said display variable names. And now it lists just the variable name, happy, social issue, add friends, and I'm looking for get coke. So if I press the G, it'll take me to the first G variable it comes to, the second G variable it comes to. I press G again, the third G variable, and that's the get coke. So I highlight that, and I put it in a little holding cell over here, the variables bin, I guess is what they call it. And really, just to do this assignment, all I have to do next is click on OK. It'll take a minute, in part because I have WebEx on. And this is the one I wanted. Notice when, on mine at least, and it should do the same thing on your computer, is when you're on top of the table, it should draw this little yellow box around it. It might be kind of hard to see depending on your angle. But here are the statistics, frequencies. You can make the little box appear. Notice mine it says double click to activate. If I double click that, I can actually change what the table looks like. You can do all sorts of different table properties. And this is getting far and above what you really need to do. But you can do different borders. There are different settings you can have to make it look more academic, less academic. All sorts of different things in terms of what the table will look like. I'm just going to keep it the way it was, just for the time being. What you need to do then, to do the rest of the assignment, is you need to start up, and I hope this works, start up Microsoft Word, which of course you can't see again because I'm in the wrong monitor, but I will bring the, where did Microsoft Word go? I will bring the Microsoft Word window. Here's the Microsoft Word window. Notice I have a blank document, and I certainly hope I'm not insulting anyone when I said that when I'm trying to find something or learn how to do something, I Google it. But that's what I do, and I spend a lot of time using Google. For example, here I want to put my name at the upper right, so I just click on the align right text, and it puts it over there, and I just type my name. Whoops! If I knew how to type, I'd be a dangerous person. And then what is it? A get coke frequencies table. How do you spell frequencies? Frequencies, obviously not that way. What did we do with the old typewriter where you had to go back and either white out stuff or whatever? And now what you can do is notice on here how easy it is to get cocaine. Is someone asking a question? I'm hearing some stuff in the background. How easy it is to get cocaine? You right-click, and you notice my choices here. Cut, copy, create, edit auto-script, and your guess is as good as mine as to what that does. Export. You might want to use export, but all I usually do is I just go to copy, and then I go back to my Microsoft Word document, and I do a paste. So you can just do paste. Here's asking for paste options. That should work okay. I may have to do it twice. Control V for paste. Notice there's my table. Sometimes you can actually make the table bigger and smaller. I'm never entirely sure exactly how to do that, because that's a Microsoft Word issue. But if I stretch it down here a little bit, it just makes the bottom one a little bit longer. The challenge that you have is sometimes the tables stretch out over to the side here. They go over the edge of the paper. Let me see if I can do one of those. Let's go back to Analyze, Descriptive. let's do a correlation, bivariate correlation. And one of the things you can do with a correlation is this is not going to work. This is just a little test thing. But let's say I wanted to take these variables here, and if you press the Shift key down, it'll highlight everything in between the 2 points, and you can move all those variables now over into the holding cell. If I do a correlation, and I'm about to get a phone call. If you do correlation, you'll get a box, bit of output that looks kind of like this. And how in the world am I going to copy that? Do the copy. If I try to copy that into my Word document, what was that? Oh, that's intriguing. I haven't seen that before. If I try to copy this into my Word document, and let's create a new page, it'll bleed over the side. See how it's bleeding over on the side here? You have several options. In fact, it's actually bleeding through the next page. Well, that's a lot of text. If you were to go and do a insert, and boy, am I glad I'm recording this because it's really making me sound intelligent. Insert breaks. So I want to insert a section break. So everything on the next page. Then I should actually be able to turn this page the other direction. Let's go to Orientation Landscape. So the first page will be Portrait, which is up and down. And then, it's interesting, the page break, I don't really need the page break anymore. So it actually turns it sideways, so you'll actually get more of the text on there. You can try shrinking the table. Table properties. You can make the table smaller. The challenge is, in some cases, the best thing to do would be to actually just retype the table using your own data. For the exercise in Unit 1, this is all you had to do. Whoops. And great. Now somebody's getting a password code access. Oh, interesting. This is all you had to do. This part right here. If you turn that in, I might have written a note on your comments area that said good job or looks great or whatever. And now I guess I will take any questions. Which you can either type in the little chat room thing or little chat box there, or if you want to shoot them to me over the headphones here, that'd be fine too. You'll have to unmute yourself. How do I get everybody back up again? Oh, click on everyone. Can't see creating a whole lot of these like Dr. Vic does. I use Camtasia to do that type of stuff. Doing this on WebEx is a lot of setup work. And I'll probably end up doing some more of these as the semester goes along because as long as everyone can see my screen when I do the shared, and I want to close my table tools here. That's what I really, if someone had a problem or something, it's a whole lot easier to show people how to do it. There are a lot of YouTube videos on SPSS. The problem with the export function, and why don't we try one with the export function? That's why we have it. Let's go back to the output page. Here's the output page. If I click on export, let's see what our options are. So we're going to export it, and it says already here it's a Word to RTS. The rich text document containing both text and graphics will be created. It also takes a long time sometimes to do this. A little bit longer than it does. If you're only copying one, if you have a lot of data and a big output, it might be useful to do this. But this is the export output. And I'm going to save it to my desktop, which again you won't be able to see. Well, let me save it stats. Stats. One of the problems with sharing stuff is now you're going to see all the files that I have. But if I share it to stats here, this would be playing with export. So I click on OK. Now what I have to do is I have to go back to Microsoft Word and open that up. Open. And I called it playing with Word, didn't I? Or playing with export. Let's see. And that was in stats, the stats folder. Some of these folders I need to get rid of. Playing with export. So here it is. It looks like it lopped off. It sort of cut it in between two choices here, but it did cut off the edge so it doesn't actually bleed. What would happen if I changed the orientation here? Page layout, orientation? Would it automatically change the orientation? No, I had to do that myself. Was that one of my choices when I did the export? Let's go back to export. Did I mention any time in the syllabus or anything that whenever doing stuff with like SPSS or anything with statistics, it takes twice as long as the time you have allotted? So if you give yourself like an hour to do something, it's going to take you 2. This is why, because you want to try, well, let's try it this way. To really get good at something, you got to keep on practicing it. Now I'm starting to sound like your dad. I know I'm sounding like my dad, and I don't like that sound. But so in export you can export, and I only selected that one. You could export all of the output. Where do you do that? Options. Here we go. Here are the options. Page orientation. So if I change the page orientation, how do you change the page orientation? Oh, change options. And so size, letter, landscape. So now it'll export the same thing in landscape. Okay. Now I have to go back to Microsoft Word. There's the one I started with. I'll just go up to File, File Open, and this would be what I call it, playing with export to. There you go. The issue, of course, there is you get this kind of funky stuff here. Usually, with a table this big, I don't copy it directly. I will actually just type up my own. And what I mean by that is, and I'll be sending this paper to you guys sometime. It's a paper I wrote last spring for a conference I went to looking at Oklahoma. Let me go to my documents. The question to ask myself is, where did I put that? Oklahoma data. Oklahoma data? And this would be right here. So I wrote a paper about, in 2010, Oklahomans voted on what they call the International Law Amendment. And I have tables and things. I have a lot of text, yada, yada. But like, for example, I did a factor analysis, and I typed this up all myself. I copied it. I have the data on SPSS in the output, but I actually just typed it in essentially freehand. Same with here. This is just a table. This is what I was talking about in terms of correlations. And you have to make it a little bit bigger. Can I blow this up? Blow up my screen. Let's see. Where's my plus sign? Yeah, it's an SPSS. I should have a zoom function on here somewhere. But this is all the tables. I just actually typed the table. There's a whole bunch of columns, and I had to make the text kind of small. And then here's a regression. We're going to stop at the end of the semester. This is the last topic we're going to talk about. The end of the semester is called regression, where you try to find the relationship between, in our case, we're just going to look at 2 variables. So we're not going to go any, the graduate class, bottom right. Oh, down there. Thank you very much. This is actually kind of fun with the with the chat room thing. But yeah, if you blow it up pretty big, and actually if you print it out, it's a lot easier to see if you print it out. But are you guys seeing any distortion or anything? Oh, no problem. I will try to keep the WebEx. I will send out the link to it or wherever I need to, what I need to do to save it. I hope it's not. Oh, you're leaving. So Sean, your camera works. That actually works pretty good. You might want to clean up the lens a little bit. There you go. That I will try to save this as best I can for later review. There are a couple folks that were having some problems downloading doing that table, the first table we got to. Let me go back to that original table. Shrink down. Whoops. That this one. There were some folks that were having difficulty with that. Let me get rid of this. This is junk anyway. Delete. So that let me get rid of section break. And of course now my page is turned the wrong way. There we go. The nice thing about these tables also is that if you want to center this, you just go to center. You can center a cell. I want to center the whole table. Come on. Give me the little tricorn thing. Any questions? So it's good. It works on a tablet. I'll have to try this. And yeah, I try to see if we can put WebEx on my iPad. But for the time being, I guess if I'm in my office, we'll use WebEx. I may get a video camera, but I'm not sure you guys would benefit anything from seeing me. It's probably just as easy to hear me, and then really it's the screen that's the most important part, not what I'm doing. I don't really expect to be doing a whole lot. One of the things with the next set of assignments is you're going to be asked to put some data, like another output, and then you just type here is some additional information about the table. That some of the assignments you can type up. If you were doing a face-to-face class, you might actually, if you were to hand them to me, you might actually handwrite them on a piece of notebook paper or something. But at the risk of this going really long, I am now filibustering. Unless anyone has any major questions, I have done everything I needed to do. Plus, I learned that I can actually work WebEx. So I should give myself a hand.
I don't think I have any questions about this assignment. Maybe the next one or the one down.
Well, the one nice thing is that the next Unit 2 is actually 2 weeks long. So there's a lot more time to sort of, and actually the next assignment, the next unit really deals less with really hardcore SPSS stuff. Once we start getting to measures of central tendency and measures of dispersion, now we're actually doing real stats. Most of what we do in Unit 2, we could actually be doing in Excel. It may even be faster in some cases to do the charts and the tables and stuff in Excel or on Microsoft Word. But what I hope to do is maybe next week, maybe at the beginning of the week, say that we're going to have one of these WebEx things later in the week if someone wants to come and chat, sort of like you would do with an office hour type of thing. But I also do videos and things on Camtasia as well as YouTube. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Should I get a camera? By this time in the afternoon, I look pretty dopey. So
That sounded easier to use on my iPad for the student side. The app works out great, and you guys send the little codes and the password, and it seems to work over the laptop.
Yeah. Did you have to get an app for WebEx then for the iPad?
Yeah, there is an actual WebEx app free.
Oh, okay. I'll have to see if I can put that on my iPad.
When you guys send that 9-digit code, send that 9-digit code, you put it in the password, and it just pops it right up.
Yeah. I'm going to have to pick a better password, maybe a little bit less descriptive of where I went to college. I have to sit and think about that one. I like to use my wife's passwords, but she gets upset. So, she gets upset because I know what her passwords are, but also that I tell everybody what her passwords are. she doesn't know that I have ways of looking at the back side of the software to see what the passwords are and stuff. And unfortunately, this is being recorded. So, unless there are any other questions, I'm willing to shut down for the afternoon. I'll take email questions as always and try to answer them as quickly as possible. I do have a piece of cake sitting on my desk, which is starting to look very, very good right now. And I don't know if I can talk and eat cake at the same time. So if there aren't any questions, I will stop the recording and then shut down and then see if I can put the recording link up someplace where everybody can find it. Sounds like a plan?
Sounds good.
Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
See and or hear you all later.
All right.